Hello everyone, this is Astocky here and welcome back to DayZ Factions version 2.1. Now DayZ itself has just very recently been updated to I believe version 1.7.7, and for those of you who've been keeping track, they've been doing, and just recently within the last day or so, they've done an update on the DayZ Standalone and where that's at. But for now anyway, this is still the slightly older version, which is 1.7.6.1. Probably doesn't make a huge amount of difference to most people, particularly not playing single player, but basically Alex and the fantastic team that have been doing the single player stuff are planning on updating. It's just going to take them a little while to get it out because there's some pretty big changes to how 1.7.7 works. And I will also lose this save game if I update, so I'm going to continue playing with this at the very least to see how I go, see how long I can live for before I update. It looks like from the standalone perspective anyway that it is going to do some fantastic things with inventory management. It's going to, I guess it's going to release an alpha, and some of you might be a bit disappointed with that because it's actually going to be a backward step from what we're getting at the moment with the mod in terms of the features you're going to have in the game. It's going to open up a capability for a whole lot of really new features that are way better, but certainly for the start it's not going to be as good. Am I going to be buying it? I think generally the popularity of DayZ and the amount of hackers and all that kind of stuff really turned me off wanting to play it. That and the fact that I don't, as a general rule, play online multiplayer games because they kind of frustrate me. I might give DayZ Standalone though an exception to my rule because it is probably the most anticipated game of 2013, although I've seen some of the footage of Battlefield 4 and I think that looks pretty awesome, but I think really DayZ Standalone is where it's going to be at, particularly if, I guess in time for the Christmas rush, they can make it to be a bit of a more polished game. There's probably lots of you who have been asking questions about things like, well, is it going to use the Arma 3 engine? How's it going to look? What's it going to be doing? It's going to be using something. I can hear a lot of zombies. It's going to be using something they're calling the, I guess the Arma 2.5 engine. It's basically going to be a tweaked version of the Arma 2 engine that is better than what you're currently seeing in Arma 2, but not up to the same standard of Arma 3. So it's going to add a bunch of new features. I'm not even sure if it's possible, but it looks like it might even be designed for bigger worlds. It's going to have a lot of, I guess, more detailed vehicle support built into it. This is starting to not look that safe. I'm concerned that something's going to happen and I'm going to start to slide down and I'm going to end up with a leg broken or something like that. I've got morphine pens though, and I think morphine pens are what I need in order to be able to actually drop down. We've got a bunch of stuff there. Yeah, you know what? Whatever. Let's just keep scooting around this mountain here. I don't really want to be quite this high up. It's a little too high. Yeah, it's way too high. I kind of want to keep moving around. Now I know there's been some suggestions in the comments for me to, head north and go for the airfield, but I don't really have enough medical equipment. I've got, what do I have? What do you? I've got some antibiotics, which is good. I've got some morphine, which is good. I don't think I actually have any painkillers though. I've got one packet of painkillers. I could probably almost head north now, but I really just want to scout out. I'm pretty sure if I keep heading this way, it's not going to be too long. Sure, I just heard a zombie. I think it's going to be not too long and I'm going to be at Electro. So I'm going to try and see if maybe I can head over to Electro and see how things go over there. Again, not completely sure what I'm going to do yet. Still kind of thinking about this, but yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about the DayZ Standalone. It will be a very different thing for me, because like I said, I've always been against any game that you have to pay for, where you can't experience the game and play everything about the game by yourself. Happy to pay for Arma 2, because Arma 2 itself is a fantastic standalone game. I mean, it is the game. DayZ is just the mod for it. So, you know, my thoughts were that I didn't mind sliding, paying for Arma 2 to get DayZ, because Arma 2 is a cool game. Like, it is a really cool game. Scoping it out. What's that say there? 4-5. Now, I really wish I had like a scoped rifle. I think that'd be awesome. Or maybe, do I have binoculars? No, I don't even have binoculars, so not super happy with the position I've got myself into. Something else that I did notice during the last engagement I had with that AI was that I was shooting at him and he wasn't ducking. Now that's been fixed now, actually. What happened is I had installed the Combined Operations COWarMod Lite Edition, but I had forgot to update all of the optional AI files. So there's a whole lot of additional optional updates I've put in now that I guess allow the AI to be suppressed. So basically, if you shoot and bullets start hitting near them, first they'll crouch and then they'll go prone. And what that should allow, that should basically allow me to shoot at them to hit the deck and kind of react a lot more like a real player would react. Looking over there, not seeing anything that's worth really dealing with. So I'm going to keep going. I think I only have a really rough printed out map, and the reason for that is I've basically gone for I want to try and go for immersion and realism, and I'm kind of going for a grainy kind of almost hand-drawn map, just to give me an idea of where some of the towns and things are, to make it a little bit more like you're playing this for real. It's like, okay, now I haven't collected a map yet, because you press M and it comes up black, and what that basically means, or at least the way I'm saying it means, is that, you know, I've got a recollection of the area, because I kind of know where I am, but at the same time I don't really. So I guess basically what I'm looking at is that lighthouse over there is on a little peninsula of land that I believe is about halfway around the bay between Cherno and Electra. Now this is pretty risky what I'm doing here, because I'm out in the open, so I'm going to need to fix that. I mean, there's no other players, at least I hope there's no other players that spawn in these kind of areas, but I really don't know, and so there's no sense being super, I guess, super crazy about it. So again, just gonna do the kind of crouchy run thing. Seeing a whole lot of zombies off down there to the side. Now something else I'm going to need to practice, because I've changed my field of view, I'm going to need to practice ranging with the sniper scopes. I don't have any sniper scopes yet, so that's not really a big deal for me, but at some stage I am going to need to do that. So, definitely got someone's attention. It definitely sounded like it came from up there. Crazy stuff. No wonder I'm breathing like crazy. Okay. Rolling. Man. Man. This game is exciting. I love the feeling of being just pinned down and having no idea where your assailant came from. Really just kind of looking for movement at the moment. I thought I saw something move up there. What I wouldn't give right now for a sniper rifle. Well, I definitely can't sit still. I've got to keep moving, so I'm going to head down this way and hopefully head down and follow this tree line a little bit. Now, if you don't know where your assailant is, I think your best bet really is to try and move away from where you think they might be. Now they could, a sniper could be really set up anywhere here. Wow. They say that after a while, you get like DayZ eagle eyes, where you start to be able to, pick a little tiny dot on the map and go, ah, that's a player and he's carrying this particular gun. I certainly haven't played DayZ enough for that to have happened. So I'm at a severe disadvantage here. What have we got there? Train crossing. I'm definitely not seeing any players down that way. Man. Like I said, got to keep moving, can't sit still. I've got quite a lot of coverage here from the hill, so I just keep coming around the bottom part of the hill. I might be able to make my way back up around, up into that tree line there and try and see if I can maybe flank whoever it was that was shooting at me. Now again, I don't know the sounds of any of those weapons, so I don't know what they were shooting at me with. Wow, this is crazy. Gotta try and get from tree to tree. Gotta try and keep myself as low as I can. Now I'm not sure how the AI react versus how players react. I'm not even sure how camouflaged I'm looking. At least I'm wearing black. That's got to count for something. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna start trying to move up now. I was sure they were up there somewhere. It's perfectly possible though that they've since moved around and haven't sat still. There. Is that a player? God, I can't even see what that is. No, that's a crawling zombie. Man. Now one of the, I guess the things that people can do in the original DayZ is they can look, and if you see zombies that are off at a distance and you know they're too far to be caused by you, you can know there's a player there. Now unfortunately that doesn't work in this particular version. I think, yep, I just heard a gunshot. Thought I heard a gunshot off in the distance. Got him. Don't know if that was the same player. In fact, I'm not even sure if that killed them. Does not look to be moving. Now, to be fair, if this was real DayZ, I probably would not have done that. They didn't look like they knew where I was. They didn't look like they were much of, if any, of a threat to me. But I have since learned that by playing the single player, that there are very few friendly people around. So let's see what he's got. He's got a morphine auto injector, he's got some raw meat, that's probably not too bad. A military flashlight, so let's give him my flashlight and take his military flashlight. I don't really need anything else that he's got there. Wonder what's in my pack. Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff in my pack, so I probably don't want to do too much here with him. But we can open his pack and see what he's got. He's got antibiotics. He's got a beer. That's cool. He's got a blood bag as well. Might take that. And he's got a soda. Okay. Now let's go. British assault pack. Can I open my pack and his pack at the same time? Yes. Okay. So we're going to put those antibiotics, the beer, the soda, just in case I start to get thirsty. Let's hide that body. So yeah, like I was saying before I saw the player, I think that I guess it's advantageous to be able to look around, and if you see zombies off at a distance, know that there's a player there, because zombies only spawn around the player. Now that's not the case if you're playing DayZ single player, because you are the client and the server, so you control everything. So zombies will spawn, have the ability to spawn pretty much anywhere you can see. And I'm not sure whether that makes the game more challenging or more immersive. Whoa, sorry about that, everyone. But it definitely I think adds to the realism that you can't just look, and if you go, look down there on the coastline, there's zombies, that means there's a player down there. Which I think is going to add, well, it certainly, I feel like, adds a whole lot of extra challenge to the game. Man, this is going to look funny. I just want to see how badly I'm hiding. Yep, look at that. Hiding inside a bush that's smaller than me. But, you know, you'd be amazed just how well any kind of bush or grass or anything like that works. Kind of, I don't know, I was sort of expecting to see a bit more grass. But where are we there? I think, yeah, there we are. We're starting to get to the outskirts now of Electro. So I'm gonna, again, just keep kind of doing what I'm doing. See how close I can get before I head down in. I'm armed a little bit better this time, so I think I have a much better chance of potentially finding someone. But do I have any food? So I'm gonna go to my pack, gonna open it, put another blood bag in my pack, because blood bags probably aren't that good to me. I don't want to accidentally eat my raw meat. What have I got? Got a soda, wood pile, box of matches. I could light a fire. that meat. But definitely don't want to do that now, not here. Wow, this is bad positioning. I've got myself right out in the open now. If there was a player, they would have a really easy shot at me like this. But thankfully, that's not the case. But sorry, I got totally distracted then. What I was saying, the new DayZ Standalone, the server is going to control all of the actions. So they've optimized the server quite a lot to make it run a lot more efficiently. And because of that, they can now make the server handle pretty much everything that happens. Basically, your client is just going to be like a window that when you say to do something, it's going to send the command to the server, and the server will carry out the action. So that should really reduce the number of hackers. But what it should also do is it should mean that, what's that? Zombie crawling? Yep. Yeah, so not only should it really reduce the number of hackers, it should also help to improve the immersive feeling, because you won't feel like zombies are just spawning on top of you and then nowhere else. You won't feel like you're alone in the world. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that plays out, because I know what they're demonstrating at E3 this week is it's not the game. It's a demo of the game, pretty much. Just you could almost call it a tech demo. It's really just showcasing a little bit of what the kind of things they can do are. It's not actually the game. Most of the content's missing. I think they said they've got maybe 2 or 3 weapons in the game at the moment. It's really not a lot of stuff. And I think there's going to be a lot of people who are disappointed to hear that it's kind of a step backwards, but I'm really excited. Based on the interview that Rocket's given and a bunch of other things like that, I'm really excited about where it's going. Like I said, I think this is going to be, certainly for me, maybe not for everybody else, the most anticipated game of 2013. I think I just heard a noise. Gotta get to cover, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Now, for those of you wondering, I guess what I'm doing now is not right. The military do a thing called fire and movement, where you sit still when you're not shooting. Sorry, you sit still when you're shooting. So when you're shooting, you don't move, because when you move, you throw your aim off. When you go between things, you go as quick as you can, and then when you get there, you get down. Because what you want to do is you want to present the smallest possible target you can to the enemy, and if you have to present a target, you want to do it for the shortest possible time. So basically, it's like shuttle runs. You sprint, you dive. You sprint, you dive. You sprint, you dive. It's all about keeping yourself low to the ground, and if you have to be in the open, like I just ran completely in the open between 2 trees. Now, DayZ actually fairly well replicates real life in this case. That chopper. Was it? No, wait. Might have been a dragonfly. I could be panicking. But yeah, the idea is that, if I have to get from here and I have to get to there, you can either crawl the whole way or you can sprint and dive when you get there. Now, sprinting and diving is good if somebody already knows that you're here, because they'll be looking for you. So you really want to, as quick as you can, cover the gap between the 2 pieces of cover to minimize the amount they can shoot at you. If they don't know you're here though, that's when kind of crawling and being sneaky comes in. I'm not a military tactics expert or anything like that, but it's important to make sure that you don't get shot. That's pretty obvious. And kind of doing what I'm doing now, where you're crouching, you're still a meter high target, and someone with just an AK or any kind of weapon like I'm carrying now can pretty easily hit a meter high target at 200 plus meters, and certainly with this kind of weapon, you're well within the lethal effective range of the weapon. Getting over close now, I can start to see some of the industrial buildings. Looking up the road. Wanting to make sure that there's no one around there. Okay. So yes, I think DayZ, you're more of a survivalist than a military expert, because if you're playing something like Arma, it's really about running, diving, shooting. But you've got the kind of weapons, you've got the team that can work together, so one person can fire while the other person moves. All the kinds of things you really do to help suppress people. I mean, DayZ itself isn't necessarily about that. I think the fact that it's based on Arma 2 allows for some really good immersive realism. But it's not necessarily the be-all and end-all of making it a great game. Now, I'm noticing that I can't really see as well as I was hoping I would have been able to. Because what I was hoping for is that from up here on the hill, I'd be able to kind of look down like this and see if there was players or anything like that around. Can definitely see some zombies moving down there. Thankfully, zombies have that kind of real exaggerated head wobble when they walk. Ooh. When they walk right towards me. So what I'm aiming to kind of try and do is not be in front of the zombie. Okay. There we go. Yeah, don't be in front of the zombie. It's actually that building just there that I'm looking at. I think that's one of those warehouses that can hold some good stuff. I'm kind of probably exposing myself more than I need to here. Keep hearing that aggro zombie kind of background noise. Wow. Okay. Gotta keep moving, gotta keep moving. There's a building up to the left of me there. So that's I guess the other thing that I should be much better at. And again, I think people who play DayZ a lot kind of learn that you need to learn where your current cover is, where your next piece of cover is, and have like escape routes planned out in your head for anywhere that you need to go. Because you really don't want to get yourself in the situation where you're stuck in a tree. No, that's fine, that happens all the time. You don't want to get yourself in the situation where you're like, okay, someone up there is shooting at me, which means I have to get on that side of the trees. Oh crap. Crap, he spotted me. Like super seeing all zombie. This is probably not going to go down that well, because I have a weapon that's going to draw a lot of attention. I don't think zombies can vault fences though, so maybe if I do that, might be able to lose him maybe. That's something else that the new Standalone is going to be doing. It's going to be changing the way you interact with zombies. It's going to change the way they move and they manage different things. The way they see you, when they don't see you. I love that kind of blurry vision effect, and I love the fact that when you run a lot your crosshairs kind of spread out. I mean, like I said, as a fairly realistic military sim, Arma 2 adds a lot of really cool features that I think, you know, they potentially talked about having DayZ run on some other game engines, but I think, you know, if you put it on the Battlefield 3 engine or something like that, it might look a lot better, but I think it would be really lacking all this grittiness that's kind of what makes DayZ what DayZ is. But yeah, once again, I'm just kind of waffling. I guess that's been around about half an hour already, and I've made my way over to Electro anyway. I've got a really good view now of Electro. It's a fairly flat town, which is definitely a good thing. It's definitely a good thing because it means I can now look around and kind of check out. Top of the wharf doesn't look like there's anyone. I'm certainly not seeing zombie moving just there. It looked like a bit of a wobble there. Yeah, it definitely doesn't look like I have a whole lot of company in town, so that might be a good thing for me. I'm really quite exposed there on my right hand side, but I don't want to end up with a zombie sneaking up on me again. Okay, so now again, this is all about knowing where your cover is and stuff. So I know now I've got a bunch of trees behind me. It's going to be difficult for anyone to get a shot from me from over there. They're going to have to be really close if they round this hill to look at me. I'm in a bit of almost like a gully, and here we have the town itself. Now I can't tell. I think that means the sun is still rising. Now I'm not sure if this is like a 24-hour time system where it takes 24 hours of actual gameplay before it starts to become daytime and then nighttime kind of thing. I know one of the single player variants has a 3-hour time cycle where they can cover the whole day in 3 hours, and I think, well, I'm kind of hoping this version is like that. I'm not sure that it is though, unfortunately. But anyway, I have a really good view of Electro now. I think it is time to end this video and come back next episode and see what kind of loot I can get. So thank you very much for watching. Hopefully there'll be another episode out really soon. Astocky out.